Come by back.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Welcome. If you guys have not had coffee yet, make sure you grab some before you sit down. We have a great two presenters today, good friends of a lot of us actually. So my name is Dustin, and I am one of the organizers for the 1 Million Cups, along with a number of others. If you raise your hand if you're a 1 Million Cups organizer. Awesome, thank you guys. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this morning, as every Wednesday morning, we have two presenters, and we are actually, we have 6 minutes of presentation along with 20 minutes of Q&A for two local businesses and two local entrepreneurs that are just advancing the community here, and we're super excited about that. We do this every week along with about 80 other cities across the nation, and 1 Million Cups is actually part of Kauffman Foundation, so we are part of a larger network every Wednesday morning, and we meet over supposedly 1 million cups of coffee to talk about entrepreneurship and to encourage entrepreneurs that are taking risks. So, with that said, I do want to honor our sponsor for this month. We cannot do this. We cannot provide free coffee without our sponsor, and we have Steffi from Saltwater Coffee. So, if you want to say a quick word.
I'm Steffi, and I own a new company called Saltwater Coffee, and it's just a catering company that's a little cart, and that does pop-ups all around Colorado City and events like weddings and that kind of stuff. I use all local roasters, and today is Loyal Coffee, who's actually presenting today too. So,
right. Perfect.
Awesome. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, I think that's it for me, so I am going to pass it on to our first presenter, and we have an old, familiar face here. Oh, no, sorry. Diane Steve with Riptide.
Well, with an introduction like that. Good morning, everyone. My name is Diane Sneed. Many of you know me as a past co-organizer for 1 Million Cups. And many of you also know me as that super awesome co-founder of the mobile app Riptide. But trust me, I wasn't always this cool. I was talking about Riptide the other day to a fellow entrepreneur, and he asked me, how did you get so good at this? And the question threw me for a bit. Plus, I'm starting to think about my presentation for you all today. And it really got me thinking, how did I get here? Because I wasn't supposed to be an entrepreneur. I was supposed to be an engineer. And according to my high school guidance counselor, I was supposed to like it. So that's what I did. I became a mechanical engineer. I designed ductwork and plumbing systems for really big commercial buildings. And it was about as exciting as you think it would be. I always had the itch, though, to run my own business. I just assumed it would be an engineering firm. The current firm that I was working for didn't have a good work culture, so I knew that wasn't going to be the company that I would run. So I quit. And I did start my own company, a productivity consulting firm. I don't know if you remember what was going on with the stock market in 2009, but let's just say it was an interesting time to be launching a business. I made a lot of mistakes, but I did one main thing right. I learned to network. I networked all the time. I was networking 5 days a week. I was networking so much, I was following the same people around to the same events to the point where we could recite each other's 60-second commercial. It was crazy. But turns out, running a business is not all sunshine and roses, like I thought it was going to be. So I retreated back to my comfort zone. I went back to engineering. This time, I tried really hard to make it work. I got all these credentials, I worked on some really large projects, but it still wasn't fulfilling. I had become an engineer because I thought it was a great way to use math and science to help people. Designing ductwork wasn't what I had. I kept thinking back to how I was able to help people as an entrepreneur. And that's when it hit me. I had caught the entrepreneurship bug. So once again, I quit. There's no vaccine for that, apparently. So what's the fastest way for me to replace my income now that I'm newly unemployed? Oh, I don't know, why don't I just start another business again? Doing mobile apps. Never done that before. It seems like a great plan in life. Plus, I really didn't want to update my resume. I was in the middle of developing my first mobile app, and I was trying to find people who could help me. And that's when I realized that my network was the most important asset that I had. But in my time of need, I also realized that I hadn't maintained my business relationships like I should have. It turns out that problem affects 90 million Americans as well. Technology has been really great at helping us to optimize our online marketing efforts. But no one's paying attention to how to optimize the over $1 trillion in offline marketing activities, word-of-mouth referrals. Riptide was born. Riptide is a mobile app that helps networking groups and their members make more money through word-of-mouth referrals. We work with networking groups to put them on our digital platform to track their weekly numbers. Then we take that data and turn it into predictive analytics to help them become better networkers. One way we do that is we look at how well you're networking, compare it to how well your competitors are networking, and give you an optimization of goals to help you better use your time, money, and effort. It's the difference between your GPS telling you you're going to be stuck in traffic and the Waze app giving you a route to avoid the traffic altogether. Here's the reality we're facing. By 2021, 40% of the workforce will be independent workers. These are sales professionals, independent contractors, freelancers, people just like you. And what's going to happen when 10 million more freelancers enter the market in a few years? Sure, a lot of them are going to use job marketplaces like Upwork or Fiverr, but now they'll be stuck competing on price. They'll turn to networking. They'll turn to referrals. They'll join networking groups. In fact, they already are. Networking groups are growing 5% year over year. It seems people still prefer to do business with those they know, like, and trust. Apparently, the entrepreneurship bug is what fits me best. Never before have I worked so hard to avoid updating my resume. Thanks.
What's the cost to use your service?
Sure. So Riptide offers on a freemium premium model, which you see a lot with apps. The free version, we allow groups to track their numbers. We're essentially replacing the pieces of paper that they're using now. So you can track numbers and set your own goals. The premium version gives you access to the predictive analytics, where our algorithms will help you set goals based on where your group wants to go, based on where you want to go, and based on where your competitors are going. So for a member in the group, it's $15. For the group leader, it's $25. And it's more for the group leader because we're providing them analytics both for themselves as a business owner, as well as the group as a whole, because we can compare and see how well your group is doing compared to other groups in town and across the U.S.
Is that a one-time fee?
It's a monthly subscription. James?
Have you thought about the environmental impact of eliminating all that paper usage?
I have not, but that's a good point. I think for us, it's more the fact that it's 2017 and big companies are already using big data and using data to their advantage. It's starting to trickle down to small businesses. It's getting there, but it isn't there quite yet. So for us, it's just really disappointing that we're still using pieces pieces of paper to track things. Sometimes those pieces of paper end up going into an Excel spreadsheet, and that works really well. It's really amazing how much Excel runs a lot of businesses if you look at it. So it's more just trying to make sure that the little guy, the small business owner, is being competitive with the big guys and leveling the playing field, more so than saving the environment.
So one, kudos. It's been nice to watch this from the idea on a piece of paper through
Yep.
to where you're at. So
Yes,
great job.
we pivoted a few times, so
Did it a
yes.
few times. So let me ask you, how did you make the switch from being an engineer to an entrepreneur? What was your biggest aha? I mean, what was the turning point for you to go from engineer, kind of logic mindset, to an
Yeah.
entrepreneur mindset?
Yeah, it's because I'm very weird. I am a very weird engineer. I have never had an issue talking to other people as an engineer. So also being a female in engineering, I never saw myself as a female in engineer, but apparently that made me stick out. Plus I'm really short. So all these things. It was more, I just saw that by running my own company, I had better control over my destiny. And if I'm gonna work hard, I may as well work hard for myself. So I always had this notion of running my own company. I just didn't realize that that meant that I could do something other than what my degree was in. So that was a learning curve. I learned a lot when I did my type A consulting business. So it wasn't necessarily an aha. It was, this was the direction I was planning to go anyway. I just didn't know exactly which company it would be.
So speak to the when it gets results, very specific.
Right. So we do have competitors in the field. We're not the first to offer an electronic method to track your networking group numbers. What our competitors are doing is just relying on the inputs. You're putting in your one-on-ones, your referrals, your closed business, and it goes into a black hole. So you're not, unless you take additional steps to look at how to improve, no one's going to help you. The data's not going to help you. It's there, but it's not going to help you. So for our results part of it, that's where the predictive analytics comes in. So we're taking that data and turning it into meaningful, results-focused outputs so that you know how to improve. And we're doing that more with push notifications, or you might know those as those text messages. We're going to try to not be annoying with those. But it's more, we can look at who your top referral partners are and prompt you to make sure that you are meeting with them on a more one-on-one basis. We can also look at maybe other, say in another city across the US, it turns out a certain professional might have really strong power partnership relationships with other people in their group. You may not realize that within your own group, but we can tell you, you need to make sure that you are meeting and creating strong relationships with, say, your accountant, because it looks like other people are able to form really strong power partners with those individuals. So it's taking very little data, and it's the data that networking groups are already using. It's just how many one-on-ones you're meeting a week, your referrals, and closed business, and then we're able to actually guide you down a process of converting more of those into sales.
So you talked about the exclusive network aspect of it. I know you mentioned like, coming to what other accounts who should I talk to? Should I be interacting with? Where does that come?
Yeah.
Does that change the software?
It does. So the question is, right now we're focused on exclusive networking groups. How does that change once we want to be more inclusive and open it up to networking professionals in general? Right now we are focused just on closed networking groups. One, it's a lot easier, and it allows us to create some benchmarks for ourselves and to go through the process, going through the predictive analytics model to make sure that the results that we're providing for individuals actually provide the most benefit. So on our standpoint, it's easier from a lot of different ways. About 18 months after launch, we are opening the platform to networking in general. And when we do that, then you'll be able to see your ROIs for all of the networking activities that you're going to. So you can compare it from maybe if you do have a weekly event that you're, a weekly networking group that you're in, like Brain or PetNet or some of these other groups, you can compare your results from those groups to 1 million cups to maybe other events that are in your profession. So now you can see which ones are bringing the most return. And we're doing that not just on a dollar amount, but also kind of like how LinkedIn, you can see your circle of influence. We're doing that on the back end as well. So maybe you're no longer going to your networking group, but you're still getting referrals from that group a year later. We can still track that for you. But it does involve software change, and it does involve a shift in marketing.
So do you actually pass the referral through the app?
Yes.
The contact information?
Yes.
I know this guy needs your service, so I can just send that through the app.
Yep.
Do you have any way for your company to reach out to people who are so incredibly stupid they don't know they need to network? Like there are some.
Right, how to reach out to people who don't know they need us. Yes, I have been very fortunate to have a co-founder who is also my chief marketing officer. So a lot of that is falling on his shoulders to how to network. Since we don't have a lot of competitors, a lot of our marketing efforts is going to be brand recognition. How do we get people to know that we exist? Because we know that there is a problem there. They're just not used to seeing solutions for it. So we are having to do a lot of upfront marketing to get the word out.
What was the most important lesson you learned from business number 1 that you applied to business number 2?
For me, it's been that the things that I think are going to be hard really aren't, and the things that I think are going to be easy are actually very hard. And so I remember that going in, I learned not to sweat the small stuff so much. I operated under an umbrella company for a while, so I was able to receive all the benefits from taxes and those kinds of things under the umbrella, even before I had a name for Riptide. So just being able to leverage the system better was something that I took away. I didn't have to spend so much time thinking about things that really didn't matter, because everything can be changed.
Where did the name come from?
Yeah, I get that a lot. So it's a two-part answer. So the first part is that I wanted a name that I felt was a good metaphor for networking. So I see networking as this underlying force that drives you forward, and Riptide is a really good name for that. On the other side, the more techie side, I wanted it to be 2 syllables because the Facebook, LinkedIn, Riptide. So it had to be catchy, it had to be short. The thing that I didn't do is I didn't do enough research on the domain name itself. So I also didn't want to have a name that, because a lot of companies are creating their own names now, they're smushing words together, and I just felt that that wasn't the best brand approach for where we were going. We're trying to straddle a line between being fun, but we're also a productivity app and marketing to business professionals. So it is a fine line. We don't want to be too kitschy. At the same time, the last thing we need as business owners is one more piece of boring software. So Riptide has just stuck.
Do you see your key sales demographic, the individual, or like large companies like State Farm that would have this for their sales groups?
Yeah, we've been approached by some of the bigger companies, and also for multi-level marketing companies. Those companies like Mary Kay, Shackley, some of those are multi-level marketing companies, to see how we could help their sales representatives. So this absolutely could be used for those larger organizations where your sales manager would be able to look at the sales team and see how they're performing. You could structure maybe competitions, some fun competitions between sales professionals to look at those metrics. We're also looking at other business organizations like Chamber of Commerce and the SBDC. Those particular organizations, especially the SBDC, uses grant money in order to continue the programming that they offer. And that grant money is dependent on how many people they can help. So right now they're tracking that help based on how many people come in for counseling, how many events they sponsor, things like that. What we could do is we could have the individuals who are attending those SBDC events use Riptide and be able to track sales based on the interactions from people at those groups. So now when the SBDC goes to solicit grant money, they can say not only have we had this many people in for our services, but we've created, say $100,000 worth of net sales because of our events. So it puts them in a stronger position to go after that grant money.
Seems to me that you're redefining, or maybe ahead of redefining the workforce with your working groups, in that if I look at Salesforce or some of the other software that's out there, and I come from a long background, it's almost always geared to employees. And it's almost always geared to you start off with one of your early slides of the number of independent contractors.
Right.
That's going to show, I think you have going as high as 40%. Is
Yeah.
that unique compared to your competition? Looking at that type of data, the fact that I'm keeping track of independent contractors who are not necessarily connected to my system.
Right, that is unique. So you brought up Salesforce. Some people look at Riptide as a CRM. We're kind of a lightweight CRM, a very user-friendly CRM. But those CRMs, you're right, with Salesforce and some of those other programs, they're assuming that their workforce is still under the umbrella of a company, which isn't necessarily going to be true. We have a lot higher remote workforce. I'm sure a lot of you might be remote employees right now. So people are preferring to go the contractor route instead of the W-2 employer route. There are some software that is supporting the fact that this is going to happen. So you'll see more of that. The vertical that we're in is called Future of Work. And you'll start hearing that more and more. And what that's looking at is the fact that this is going to happen. So one, how are employees going to adapt? How are employers going to adapt to the fact that their workforce wants to work remotely or wants to be a 1099 contractor? And how are we as a society going to create rules and regulations to make sure that those people are protected as a 1099 contractor versus a W-2? Things like 401ks, health insurance, all these things. And then also, Future of Work looks at how are we needing to change as individuals. If you want to go the independent contractor route, how does that look for you? You're going to have to now look at your own taxes. There's a lot of different things. And so there is software out there that is helping support this shift. Unfortunately, the software that you would think of for traditional businesses, they're not making that change.
For the launch and running of your business, what are some of the top resources you utilize? Is it co-working space, online forums, organizations, mentors? What has really helped you, shepherd you, and guide you through that process?
For me, it's been a really tough lesson to delegate and to bring people in. I have no problem talking about Riptide to people, and that's why it is where it is today. I didn't keep it in my own vacuum, but allowing people in and helping me and using their best skill sets to offset my own has been a challenge. And so I have pulled a great team together. I have a mentor here with me, John. So it's been mostly, again, networking. I know that sounds really cliche now given my presentation, but it really has been networking and building those relationships. A lot of the people that I relied on for Riptide were people that I had built relationships with when I was running Type A. And so it's been a lot of meeting people, both here locally. I do a lot of networking up in Denver as well. So it's been using all the resources I can to my best advantage.
What were some things that you thought would be easy that turned out to be hard?
Oh, I think pulling together what the app is going to look like When I initially had the light bulb idea, it was very different. And so for me, I thought it'd be really easy to just get together some statement of work documents, get that out, get it developed, not a problem. So it ended up being hard because I really wanted to make sure that I was solving the right problem and not just throwing technology because I could do it. The thing with technology now is that anything can be done. It's just a matter of should it be done. So that's something that I thought would be a lot easier, but has been hard. This is about a year in, and we're finally at a point where we're really sure that this is the right path to go.
So let's talk a little bit about the marketing of the thing. Did it start regionally and you've been able to expand it by marketing? Go national?
Right. So right now we are focused just on the local market, so pretty much the Front Range. We do have a version of the app out, and we have local groups using it. The full version of the app is still being developed. We're in the initial stages of raising capital so we can build out the app. So our go-to-market strategy is to focus local, and then we have about 10 or 12 cities that we know have high concentrations of these independent contractors, and that's where we're going to launch there, test some of our marketing conversion rates, and then roll out nationwide.
So what are you doing in marketing tools?
We're using a combination of what's called inbound and outbound marketing. Outbound marketing is how we're going to get brand recognition out. That's how we are going directly to the leaders of these networking groups to get them to go on our platform. We have a feeling that's going to be an easy sell because these networking group leaders are spending their spare time tallying all of these pieces of paper up, and now the app is doing it all for them. So that's the outbound approach. We're also creating a strong content strategy to bring people in, and that's the inbound marketing piece. So we're wanting to be a thought leader in the referral and word of mouth referral space.
I don't understand the inbound. How are you pulling that off?
Yeah, so a lot of it is giving value away for free. And there's a lot of companies that are doing that, and you'll start noticing where you'll see, oh wow, that's a really great article, or oh, I do need that case study. And before you know it, you're on that company's website, checking them out, seeing what they do. They didn't have a salesperson call you, you went to them, and now I got you.
So you mentioned the year-long process of narrowing down, figuring out exactly that this is the thing.
Right.
Can you speak more to that? How you went about that? Was it more word of mouth going to these networking groups, talking with them? Was it like an online? I know you have the sign-up page site.
Yeah, the landing page site.
Yeah. So can you speak to that and what you found to be the most effective?
Yeah, so what was the process for this year to how I got to where I'm at, how I went through all those iterations. A lot of it was talking to people. I've talked to several hundred people in my target market and in adjacent markets, and really saying, this is what we're thinking, what resonates with you, what are your problems, what are the big challenges. And what's been really hard is, coming from the engineering background, I'm a recovering perfectionist. So it's really hard for me to say, here, look at this crappy piece of whatever that we're working on, would this work for you? That's been really tough, but that is the nature of the game. And so in learning more about where the workforce is going to go, learning more about the target market. I mean, I was there when I did Type A, I was 100% referral based, so I get the problems at a very deep level. So it's just been really talking to people, and that's what I recommend. I think you stifle creativity when every time you go up and say, hey, I've got the next $1 billion idea for an app. Oh great, what is, oh I can't tell you, I need you to sign an NDA. Okay, well, but because I was talking to everybody, whether they wanted to listen or not about this, I was able to get a good gauge of what made sense, what doesn't, and being able to shift it along the road. And then it got to a point where people were telling me the same thing over and over again, and that's when we knew that we were onto something.
All right, we have time for the final question. Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the phrase.
I'm sorry,
"Go into
it's a
particular."
final special question.
Stan, what can we do as a community to support you?
I love this question. I always love it when other presenters get to ask. For me, the best way that you can help me as a community is to support your local startups. Support all your local startups. Keep coming to events like this. If someone comes up to you and says, I've got a great idea, do you want to go on my beta list? Even if you have no idea what a beta is, say yes. Yes, I will help you. I will give you feedback. Because for a lot of startups, we need that initial traction and we need that initial feedback to keep moving forward. We're not here to hurt you. We want to help everybody. And so by supporting local startups, that's a big deal.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, it looks like a good crowd today. Is there anyone here for the first time today? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, awesome. All right. We have to do this kind of warm up. Okay, so next in our order of business, we feel free to grab coffee, Soul Water coffee, and we have community announcements next. So a community announcement, what we want to see is 30 seconds or less, and it must benefit the entrepreneurial community. So this is really not a time to promote your business, but really to tell the community. So anyone have any community announcements? Go ahead.
Yeah, Startup Week is August 21st. We're going to do it different this year. Instead of just different sessions all over town sort of scattered, we're going to be in one place all day, and we're going to organize it. So we're going to go from the day one ideation, then MVP, and then make sure you got a great scale up. And we're going to have a big pitch competition Thursday night. It's going to be really run by more of our startups and be really into Startup Week. So it's August 21st week. So don't go to Maui that week. Stay tuned.
That's right. Anyone else? Yes,
Continuing my recruiting pitch for interviewing entrepreneurs in any phase of the entrepreneurship process. I'm doing a graduate project this summer on crowdfunding in Colorado. So hopefully with that analysis, I can maybe share that with legislatures and benefit you all in terms of raising capital. So if you have a minute afterwards today, please talk to me and I'd love to talk.
Yes.
Denver is hosting the Education Technology Startup Weekend next weekend. So if you're interested in education technology, the future of technology and how it shapes education, it's going to be up in Denver. It's a 3-day weekend. I highly recommend it. Happy to talk to you more about that in 3 hours.
I hope this counts. The Front Range Farmers Market is starting this Sunday at the Briargate Promenade Shops, and it's all local vendors and farmers. So come out and support. It's 9 to 1 on Sunday.
Yeah, coming up in a couple days is Manitou's third Friday. It's mainly an art block, but you can do business networking. And there's actually a makerspace that's part of it sometimes.
Yes.
I'm going to give a plug to Catalyst Campus. You now have, or will have, within a month on this campus, you will have SCORE, who you've already had, and over there, we're now over here, SBDC, PTAC. You've got 3 law firms around the front end, the far end of that building who are in here are available to people who come in to hear accounting firm and a marketing firm. And all that, I think, so I'm not part of Catalyst Campus, so I'm a SCORE. That's a real accomplishment. I think this makes Catalyst Campus competitive with almost anybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
So entrepreneurialism is stressful, right? Yeah, don't lie, it's crazy, right? So I have this awesome initiative that I want to talk about really quick. Norwood's actually putting on Colorado Springs Summer of Yoga. Who here's done yoga before? It's pretty great, right? Wow, that's awesome. There's free yoga classes all around the city, whether it's First and Main Town Center, Norwood Plaza, all the way up to Interquest. If you want to know more about this free opportunity, come talk to me.
Yes.
A new networking group is coming to Colorado Springs, launching Thursday of this week. It's going to happen the third Thursday of every month at a different local business owner's location. We're a traveling networking group. If you're interested, you'd like to find out where the event is this week, go to Facebook, and it's called the In-Crowd Networking Group. In-Crowd. In-Crowd.
All right. Time for one more. Any last announcements? Awesome. That was a lot of announcements today, so thank you guys. Okay, so let's give time next to Tyler Hill with Loyal Coffee. He's going to be our next presenter. Please give him a warm
What's up, y'all? Yeah, my name's Tyler Hill, and I'm going to take us down two quick tracks. One, let's just talk a little bit about who Loyal Coffee is and what we do and kind of our unique concept. And then, as I share a little bit of that concept, I'll let you in a little bit to my world as it pertains to me, because it's interesting because I'm not the only one involved with Loyal Coffee. I say that because we're equally owned and operated by 6 people, which is a pretty interesting concept. So we're a coffee company. We do a couple things. First, we have a cafe in town, downtown on Nevada in Castilla. We also have a roasting operation, which is located inside the Ivy Wild School. So we roast, we do online sales, and we do wholesale. So we're kind of slinging caffeine all over the place. We've got accounts in states all over America already. So yeah, we're a little bit in all this different parts of the coffee industry, but it's a pretty fascinating story. So Loyal Coffee started sort of as just a barista think tank. We all just got together at different times and just talked about different issues within the industry, how we could better serve people, different ways that we could progress in just efficiency and diversity and just whatever issues came up within the industry, how could we better ourselves? And just different issues kind of came up all the time, and we kept saying, if when we started this coffee shop, whichever coffee shop we worked at the time, we would have done this different. And really our perspective got to really the way that a lot of restaurants happen in a lot of places is they're started by people who never worked in the industry a lot of the time. And it poses a lot of things that really don't give space to give good service. The truth is the service industry is really, really hard. And to work in the service industry is incredibly taxing. And really it's a choice that somebody makes. You make a big choice to say, you know what, I'm going to work when everybody else parties. And I'm going to be open when everybody else plays. Like when you go out to dinner on a holiday, like somebody's working there, right? It's a choice that you make because you love it. And really the reason we choose this is because we love to serve people. And we love to create incredible experiences for people. We want people to feel loved and taken care of. We love taking care of people. And the problem is a lot of times because of the inefficiencies and people who maybe didn't begin with the end in mind when opening their cafe or their restaurant or their service industry, we maybe weren't always provided the best opportunities to take care of people in the way that we wanted. And so really what that did is that led us to this opportunity to say, you know what, maybe we should start our own. And so that's really what we did. And we had a big group of us, and it kind of dwindled down to 6 people. And the original idea, quickly was we were going to have just a teeny little space, a little kiosk more than less, a little niche coffee shop, and we were still going to work at our original cafes. So I helped open the principal's office, another guy helped open Urban Steam, another guy managed 50/50, and 2 of the people had worked at the Wild Goose when it first opened, among many other things. And it just really, really turned into not a little niche coffee shop, but a coffee shop right next to Blue Dot Place, and we're expanding. We've got wholesale all over the place, like I said. Crazy concept, 6 people, all equal owners. We all are involved in the day-to-day operations, and it's bananas. But again, really the core idea to us, and part of the reason why we chose to do this here, I've been asked to open coffee shops in probably 15 or 20 different cities, and I'm not the only one in the ownership group that's like that. We were opening Loyal. there kind of was a funky attitude about Colorado Springs, really. And you know, I've been in the service industry and served many of you and people all over the city for a really long time. And the attitude about Colorado Springs hasn't always been progressive. It hasn't always been positive. There's people that oftentimes said, you know what, we want to, the grass is greener on the other side. I'm going to go to a city with better art. I'm going to go to a city with better coffee, a city with better food. Whatever your thing is, it was better in New York, or it was better in LA, or Portland, or Seattle, or Austin, or whatever. And there's two things that we noticed. One was that I served a lot of people that said, Tyler, I'm not going to come get coffee from you no more. I'm not going to get cocktails from you no more. I'm moving to wherever. And a lot of times those people moved back. And the reason they moved back was because, not because the food was better here necessarily, not because the art was better here necessarily, but because the people here are super dope. And that's a big reason why a lot of people move back here all the time. But the reason we opened Loyal really was our attempt to say, you know what, like, you know, maybe the grass is greener on the other side, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't water the grass at our feet instead. And so Loyal was our attempt to really water the grass at our feet instead of complaining that the grass was greener. And so, you know, we decided to take this opportunity to open this cafe, to build something beautiful, to build something that maybe did raise the standard a little bit of excellence when it comes to design, when it comes to these kinds of things and these cafe experiences. And we sell coffee, and that's the business that we're in. But, and we can talk about this as you guys ask some questions, but what we really love is creating experiences for people, creating full five senses experiences. And that's where my lane is and my niche is in kind of this company and within Loyal. And I do consulting with this outside of even the cafe. But for us, Loyal, we love serving the people here in Colorado Springs. We're serving coffee we love, to the people we love, in the city we love. And we're all about creating that full five senses experience. Those experiences for people. And so that's kind of what we're about. And we can shoot to some of those questions now. What's up, brother?
My wife is the entrepreneur of my family, and I spent 2 weekends ago with her up in Boulder.
Sure.
Talking to what the next hot consumer consumption industry is going to be. And
sure.
You know, they were looking at, I was saddened. Microbreweries that work in restaurants, and
sure.
they came up with this, the next big one. And it dealt a lot with Diane's statistics and engineering contractors, 1099 people.
Sure.
Because you're going to have this huge influx, I think it's going to be probably better than 40%, is coffee.
Yeah.
Have you thought about franchising, becoming a Kangaroo or Dutch Brothers?
Yeah.
To help people like that? Because it's one that part-time people can do a lot of policing from their homes. Sure. People who thought about it.
Yeah.
And you've got a great product. And
thank you. Yeah, that's a really interesting question for us. I think there is opportunity for us to open more things, and we're a very creative group. And Loyal Coffee is a brand that we do hold dear to our heart, especially when it's connected to the city. I do think there's a significant room for growth, and there's significant room for opening new things, and we will do that. And it's going to be fascinating to see how that coincides with what this current brand is that we have and other ideas that we serve. When you're serving, we have a third space like this. And what makes Loyal Coffee important and what makes it really special is how we're able to serve the people in our particular neighborhood. One thing that franchises do a poor job of is finding the needs of the people that's in the community that they're at, right? And so Loyal Coffee, like we built this cafe the way we did to serve the people that are where we are. And something I'm very interested in is creating a system that's scalable, but that also meets the needs of the people where we're at. And so a neighborhood in Briargate, or even a neighborhood 5 blocks from where Loyal is now, could have incredibly different needs than what Loyal provides as it stands, right? So it doesn't mean I'm not going to do more, I'm not going to help other people do more, but I'm really interested in growing a company that meets the needs of the people where they are. And so yes and no is my answer. You know, and there's a lot of room in wholesaling and things too that is really scalable. And, you know, we're very interested, you know, in giving other people opportunities to do what we've done. You know, I was just a silly bartender, right? It's because other people trusted in me, gave me opportunities to open Loyal, and I'm very interested, and Loyal is very interested in sharing those opportunities with other people on our team. So there will be more ownership in Loyal beyond just us, opening to other things.
My wife has been a great projector, so
that's it.
Microbrewery,
Totally. What's up, man?
What's going on?
living well.
I'm James Fogel with Torch Free Press. So I guess kind of first off, I absolutely love oil.
Thank you.
And for those who don't, we roast nothing but, we brew nothing but oil coffee in the house. We do nothing but local coffees that are around. Anybody asks me for a meeting, I don't ever take anyone to Starbucks. I take everyone to Loyal, to Goose, because I really do believe that we have to do these things. But beyond that, it's so much better. It's such an amazing place. And when we talk about a third place meeting place, we have some phenomenal places in town. And if we don't water the grass at our feet, we'll have an issue with that. My question is, can you please talk a little bit more about the disloyalty card?
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely amazing.
Totally.
And such a phenomenal idea.
Yeah, so we got a couple different times throughout the year we pop out this thing called the disloyalty card. So we've had the first round. The second one is about to come out really soon. You're going to see it all over the place. So the disloyalty card is a card that you come to Loyal and you get, and it has the logo of about 7 to 8 different specialty coffee shops in town. And you have to go get the card stamped. So you go, and then you go to the other coffee shops, and you get your card stamped at the other coffee shops. So you go to what other specialty places, places that have the same ethos as us, that believe in the city, that believe in quality, people who appreciate good design, people who are truly trying to elevate the culture and engage the culture here. Once you get a coffee or you buy something at all those other coffee shops, then you'll come back to Loyal, and we'll either give you a free coffee or we'll donate money to charity or something like this. So the prize and the incentive is different every time. But like, so the first one and like this next one's coming out, we'll give you a free coffee once you fill up your cart, buying coffee at other places. And really the heart behind that truly is that we believe the rising tide raises all the ships.
Right.
And the reality is when it comes to good design, when it comes to good quality coffee, one of the problems when there's cities like Colorado Springs who and even states like Colorado that really do appreciate local things. A lot of times people will go to local things just because it's local, even though it's not good. And they support and sustain mediocrity. And that's a big problem, especially in the food industry. Just because it's local doesn't mean it's good. In fact, oftentimes it's not very good. And we keep supporting those things, and we support and we engage mediocrity, and nobody progresses and nothing gets better. And so for us to say, you know what, there's other people, we're not the only ones that care. We're just not. And we see other people that are trying things that we're not trying, and we want to support that and we want to encourage that. Because when this company does a little bit better, then it inspires us to do a little bit better. You know what, and they elevate their design, so we're going to elevate our design, and we start helping each other out. Colorado Springs coffee community is the best example of that in all of America, I believe, as far as in the coffee industry that I've seen. And I travel all over. Quick little story, there's a gal that had an injury at a different coffee shop in town, and she hasn't been able to work for 3 months. And this network of specialty coffee shops has covered all of her shifts for 3 months. And so we're all working for free in their coffee shop, and she's getting her hourly wage and tips, and she hasn't missed $1 because other coffee shops have worked in a different coffee shop for free so that she's good to go. Because again, the specialty coffee, or the service industry is hard. And you sometimes you're not provided the opportunities to make money. If you can't work those hours, you don't make money. And so luckily she's been able to do all of her rehab and be able to take care of that no problem. So Colorado Springs.
So I'm intrigued by the employee-owned
Yeah.
aspect. So if you could please speak to 2 things. What you find most positive about that arrangement, and then what is the most challenging?
Sure.
But even more than that, how you have either overcome or are overcoming that.
That's a great question. So people, I've been told it's the smartest thing we've done and the dumbest thing we've done. People have told me that, and they're both right on a lot of levels. The best thing is again, if you're to do anything with excellence, if any of us think that we're good enough to do an entire project by ourselves, you're incredibly arrogant and you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? You need help. Like, to think that you could do something to its best capacity and touch all, we're talking art design and branding, and we're talking about the quality and the science and the guest experience and the marketing and all that. There's not one person that's good at doing all of those things. And so, luckily, I have not had to do all of those things, and neither has anybody on my team. And so we've been able to focus in our area of strength and really grow in that. And not only that, it's that people literally have ownership, both literally and in their heart, over those projects and over the areas of interest. And so when it's come to the interior design, there's somebody that was able to literally just focus on interior design. And when we talk about the guest experience, there's been somebody that's been able to just solely focus on that and things. And so I think that's been to our favor because we've been able to do those things really, really well, each one of those within their own thing. One of the things that's been most successful for us is we were very clear at defining our roles. Okay, so, you know, Tyler, that's me, is good at talking in front of people, right? You know, so that's why I'm here today, right? And there's some other people that's better at making coffee, and that's why they're at the cafe, not here today, right? So I mean, so there's no question. You know, nobody's arguing over who's speaking at 1 million cups. That's my job. That's what I do. And so the hardest thing is we thought we had very defined roles, and we have had to refine them significantly even more over time. The other thing is I think we were under the impression, I think, that we were going to grow slow and steady and nice and easy, and we were going to be able to kind of just do our thing mostly. And we have grown so fast that just hasn't been the case. We've hired already like 15 people in like 4 months, and so not only so now we're delegating work, and we are department heads over our areas, but like there's a lot more people involved very quickly, and so we're learning how to do that really well. We've all worked in the service industry a lot. We've been able to manage these things, but really figured out how to still keep that passion and stuff over our little niche area, but with other people involved. We always plan on it, but it has happened significantly quicker, and we are all over the country, all over the world. I mean, we've had our coffee on top of Mount Everest already, and literally in 15 countries. It's bonkers. So having all these people around has been really hard. What's up, babe?
So on the employee-owned side, did you go with 100% ESOP? Did you go with the ESOP? What legal structure did you choose for the employee ownership and why?
Yeah. So this is funny because so remember I said we all have little niche parts of it, and I trust my guys a lot. My niche isn't the legal stuff, so I don't know all those code words and everything. But we do. So we all equal owners. We're an LLC. So we all have equal ownership along with some of our equity partners. Now those guys are all silent members, so the 6 of us are the only people that make decisions. We do have a few people that have just a small portion of equity that's helped us get going. But yeah, LLC, all equal parts, and that's what I got for you.
So can you speak to the expense that sometimes comes with quality and a more personalized experience, and the fact that McDonald's makes a lot of money because they can schlep out stuff cheaper?
Sure.
How do you balance that?
That's an incredible question, and that's really hard with kind of what you're saying too about franchising, right?
Yeah.
So say I make beer, right, and I put my beer in a bottle or a can, and you come and order a beer from me. I can put that beer on the counter and take the lid off, and that beer tastes like exactly what the brewery wanted that to taste like. That is not the case with coffee. Coffee, in fact, is incredibly intricate. On a molecular level, coffee is 3 times more complex than wine. And a lot of the way that you bring those things out is how you brew it, and the water quality, the machines, the barista training, all these things. So if I'm gonna mail my coffee to whoever asks, any wholesale inquiry, that does not mean my brand, for one, is going to be represented very well, and that people are going to represent that with quality. So that's incredibly terrifying. And there are lots of examples of brands who had incredibly high quality product that have just sloshed their coffee all over the place, and their brand quality has been diluted in a significant amount. So that's something we're terrified of. And at the same time, you got to grow. You got to have some cash flow, and you got to do things. So one thing is we're really excited about opening spaces that meet the needs of the community where we're at on a big scale, but where we can still control it on some level. And second is finding partners that just really believe in who we are, and I think we're willing to grow. We would prefer to grow slowly, but grow with quality at this point. But there are examples, and technology is a great friend. This idea, and I think the perception of coffee right now, of making quality coffee with just one person with a kettle, and they're just over it, just making it one cup at a time. Like that's kind of true, but there's a lot of beauty in automation, and there's a lot of beauty in technology. And for Loyal, we are a company that loves guest experiences, and we really believe in that and take care of people first. High quality coffee is very important in all of this, but what's fun is that as technology advances, and if you look, our pour overs are actually automated. They're done with a computer system, and these like underwater, these under-counter boilers and this and that. You can come up and check it out. But it's like for our pour-overs, we just push buttons and it just does it for us. And then, so for one, what that offers us is the opportunity to take care of the guests more, because the machine's doing. Secondly is, no matter how good of a barista I am, no matter, you know, whatever, like a machine will always do it better than me. And so as technology is doing it better, we're willing to adapt and absorb technology to help us. And we want to work with companies that have similar mindsets. And so, and secondly, setting up great expectations for that customer experience. And so, so we're doing a lot of training and a lot of time spending training. Most people at Loyal won't make coffee for at least 6 to 8 months, if not a year, in training with our team before they serve coffee. So a little bit of all of that. We can get into that a little bit more, but embracing automation, take care of people first, and then working with people who have the same ethos as us really is kind of where it sits on as a simple answer. What's up?
So, talk about food differences.
Yeah, sure.
Now, there's some obvious good and coffee differences.
Sure.
How do you see the coffee community, the quality of coffee community, expanding to those areas?
Sure. So, I mean, if 10% more of Colorado Springs woke up tomorrow and wanted specialty coffee, there wouldn't be enough specialty coffee in Colorado Springs. That's only 10%. A low percentage of people in Colorado Springs still drink pretty quality coffee. And so there is, for one, there is a lot of space for the industry to grow. There's a significant amount. So I say, first of all, I welcome anybody that wants to try, and we help anybody that wants to try. I've done training for most coffee shops in town. I've trained their staffs and teams, even the ones that don't carry Loyal. So everybody's welcome right now, and I think there's a lot of space for that. Where Colorado Springs has a great advantage is in most cases, Colorado Springs has not adopted the pretension that does come with specialty coffee a lot. And I think what that means is that a lot of people are being more exposed to it because they feel welcome in these cafes. Where in a lot of places that's not the case. And so I see it growing a lot because Colorado Springs people, like I said earlier, are great and they're very friendly and hospitable. And so what that does is it opens the door for more people to understand why the coffee they're drinking is special, why it's good, why you should pay more, and why paying more for coffee impacts really the globe and people all over the world in an incredibly profound way. Some of the best social justice you can do is buy really good coffee, tea, and chocolate. And we could get into that later, that's a whole other talk. But, so I see it growing a lot because Colorado Springs is such a good city filled with good people. It's growing a great deal. So, hey man.
So I heard you say one of your challenges is growth and bringing in a team. You know, what we've seen is it's great to have a vision in a small group, but as that group, what are you doing to keep your vision intact and not be watered down as this group grows?
Yeah, so I think to continue to, it's not just about me, right? And it's not just about the founding members. And in fact, I think as a brand, like that was the story we were telling a lot. We're owned by 6 people, and in this context, I shared a little bit of that. But I think what we're learning very quickly is it's not just about me. And really, Loyal is successful because other people have believed in us. And so for me, to take my team and the people that I'm head of and say, you know what, like I'm gonna believe in you the same way that you believe in me, and we've empowered. So for example, our team members get a percentage of the profits that we make every month. Every team member does, so they have ownership, in theory, a little bit over what happens in the cafe. They earn certifications both within our company and outside of our company. So when somebody at Loyal, if you've worked at Loyal for 2 or 3 years, your resume is going to be the shit. It's going to be awesome. And not just like, oh, certified by Loyal, but certified by the Barista Guild of America, certified by the Disney Institute, certified by the Center for Creative Leadership. Like you get outside and inside company certifications. And so, but with that, if you're going to stay here this long, it's going to be because you've adopted our core values. So we have a common purpose, common values, common goals that exist, and we have a 4-day orientation where they are learning all these things. So they know what, they know that we're here, community by way of coffee. That's it. We all got the tattoo, the whole 9. We believe it. We're here to stay. And so it's continuing to train that and encourage that, and inspire it, and teach it, and show them as examples. Like, I'm still in that cafe. I'm going to have it right. I'm going to take off my tie, put on my apron. I'm going to be there doing it so they can see how to do it. But then it's also giving them a reason to stay. And really, I do way less training because my team is teaching them. my few people that was there from the beginning, they believe in the message so much they're teaching it for me and it doesn't even matter. And so like, so it just continues to go. And so giving people reasons to stay, treating them well, man, and just like, you know, it's all good. And so good things happen, man. When you have something good, you don't let go of it. And so I want to give my team something to hold on to, something that's good. They're going to share that. You know, they're going to hold it and they're going to share it. They're going to keep a little bit for themselves. They're not going to forget it. Does that make sense? You don't forget something good, but you also share what's good.
Awesome. We have time for the last final question. Make it to the special questions.
Tyler, how can we as a Colorado Springs community help you in the coffee?
Yeah. I'd say, you know, like keep supporting everybody. You know, like some of the questions, support everybody. Don't just go to Loyal. You know, get the disloyalty card. Go to some of the other spots. Don't support mediocrity. Support things that are good. You know, and really encourage them, and really help raise that standard. You know, and I think, yeah, like don't, and I think be willing to learn. You know, like I think there's a lot of things when it comes to especially food and art and these kinds of things. People are scared of what they don't know about, and they don't know why. They don't know why they should pay more for this or that or whatever. You know, and I think there's a lot of opportunities to really learn from people like my team, to learn from great bartenders, to learn from great things, and I think really opens your door and opens your perspective. Sometimes in a small town, Colorado Springs, I still consider a small town on a lot of levels. People get scared of change, and they're really scared that things aren't what they used to be. And this is probably a room full of more progressive people, but taking some opportunities to teach people who maybe don't want the old ways to change. So teach, but you can't teach until you've learned a little bit. And so continue to learn about everything that you're involved with, you know, and really take those opportunities to learn, and then you can share what you've learned with others. I think will really help places like us progress and really, and really grow. So.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, brother.
I'll give you my cards.
I'm trying to see how it fits. I have a smartphone app, and when I was